Welcome back. We keep it moving with Breakfast Central, and it's now time for Travel Tuesday, where the focus is on backpacking on the continent today. Now, of course, there's backpacking all around the world, and then there's backpacking in Africa, where the kinds of experiences you're bound to have are certainly in their own league. Now, some of the most entertaining travel stories one can hear have come from something as simple as getting from point A to point B. Now, backpacking across the continent also allows you the freedom to immerse yourself in local cultures in a way that you wouldn't get to if you were just on vacation. However, due to intra-region visa restrictions, few Africans get the chance to explore their continent in greater depth. Yet, the ones who do are always left captivated. I'm excited to be joined by Elizabeth Avong, who works as a business development manager at Naija Nomads, and that's a travel platform that creates and curates travel experiences for Nigerians all over the world. Morning, Elizabeth. How are you today?
Morning. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Oh, I'm great, thank you.
Yeah.
Backpacking.
Yeah.
Realistically, how many Africans are really into backpacking? Because it does still seem a little bit, shall I say, Caucasian, if I may call it that.
Yeah, I think it is way fewer Africans trying backpacking, and as you rightly said, it's mostly due to visa restrictions around the continents. You find that out of the 55 countries in Africa, you need at least 38 visas.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you wanted to travel through Africa, you need at least 38 visas. The African Union had said they were going to do a passport that will allow Africans travel freely, but it hasn't been implemented yet.
And we're still waiting for, foreign ministers to lift restrictions here and there, and holding our breath. But, what's the difference between, sort of backpacking and taking a vacation? Is it one and the same thing?
No, a vacation, I would say, is slightly more fancy.
Right.
Because there's hotels, nice hotels, there's shopping involved somehow. And but backpacking allows you to actually experience the culture of the people, like you have an insight into their everyday lives.
Okay.
So it's more like staying in communities, in hostels, just engaging with the people.
That sounds daunting, though. How open are we? Let's take the travelers out of the mix as hosts. How open are we to, people sort of traveling through our communities and opening their doors to them and keeping them safe and so forth?
Yeah, I think Africans are quite warm. Like, we're very receptive. But I feel like the receptiveness is more towards foreigners than it is towards
and when you say
Africans.
When you say foreign, obviously you look at somebody who looks different to you, as opposed to somebody a Nigerian in Rwanda who could easily be one of the locals. Okay, and so then how feasible is it, and how safe and practical is it for an African, shall I say, your conventional looking African to be able to execute this successfully?
Yeah, it is quite safe, but the key to finding out how safe it is, I would say, is to research the exact destination you're going to. Know what their basic do's and don'ts are, and just try to avoid as much as possible, and have the proper documentation so that you don't get into any sort of legal trouble.
Have you backpacked?
No.
It's not your cup of tea.
I would want to try, but I don't think I want to backpack.
It's not, you prefer your luxury travel and but are there numbers though that kind of indicate, statistics that would indicate the number of people backpacking across Africa? Do you get requests often for backpacking?
No, most people just want to the basic safaris, just vacations, but not necessarily, I don't know, not backpacks.
Yeah, because it's like daily life is stressful enough
Yeah,
before going through the stress of,
No,
wanting to, but let's talk about visas. Let's go back to visas. So Rwanda has allowed African citizens a visa on arrival, and that saw a 24% increase in tourism arrivals and a 50% increase in intra-African trade. So of course, the benefits are clear, but what's one country on the continent you think would benefit greatly from fewer visa restrictions? I have a feeling I know what the answer to this is, but which country? Because we've now seen the boost that Rwanda has received. So what other country do you think needs to join this bandwagon? Yesterday I was talking to a friend from Ghana who said that she was speaking to the Ghanaian foreign minister, who said that just for this period alone they've received 700,000 visa applications
Ghana is doing big things this season. First of all, they have like a lot of creative tourism going on this December, and they're now doing this homecoming, a year of return, something like that. So there's loads of people going to. I'm going to Accra.
Oh, girl,
there's so
take
many
me in
people
your
going
bag.
to Accra this year. But I mean, to answer your question, I think one of those countries I would say two. I would say South Africa and Nigeria.
Okay.
Because statistically, actually, it is very difficult to get like a South African, for Africans, not for foreigners. It is very difficult to get a South African visa amongst Africans. And the second one is the Nigerian visa. It's so, I mean, I didn't think it was that ridiculous, but I looked at the research and the statistics and I was like, wow, okay. If we are able to take off these restrictions and we understand that tourism contributes significantly to the gross domestic income, then we would be able to harness the potential, the tourism potential of Nigeria or as South Africa. But South African, for instance, you know, their visa restrictions do not necessarily apply to like Europeans or Americans. So it kind of like restricts business with other African countries. And same as Nigerians. People go through a lot just to get a work visa in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's true. I
have worked with experts before who've complained about how difficult, some had to terminate their contracts because they couldn't renew their visa, their work visa. Yeah, so we definitely have to review that.
It's a very real challenge. But I mean, looking at Nigeria though, I have a lot of people who visit, who come in for business or, you know, for other purposes, for conferences, who find that Nigeria is not a tourist destination. It's not welcoming in that, you know, from the time you land at the airport, it's not a clearly demarcated airport that points you that there are cabs and this way, or there's a shuttle to the hotel this way, and so forth. So, you know, you look at that and then you look at sort of the context of backpacking, because just flying in is hard enough. And then you look at the context of backpacking. What are some of the changes besides sort of, you know, visa? What are some of the changes or the heads up that you would give to a traveler who is insistent that, you know what, I want to come to Nigeria and I actually want to backpack across the country, as we've heard many people have done?
So the first thing I would say to someone who would want to backpack in Nigeria is you need to, first of all, mentally prepare yourself. You need to, first of all, mentally prepare yourself. I mean, you just have to basically consider time, first of all. Be aware that some of these places, especially like at the airport, you are going to waste your time.
Yeah.
So if you factor that into consideration, I mean, I feel like there's so many, not that I feel like, there's so many touristy things that you can do. You can backpack across Nigeria and actually have a good time. We have like, what, 13 tentative UNESCO World Heritage Sites. You can, and they're spread all around the country. It's a very, very big country. And you can go around all these places and have fun. But you just need to consider security, have the right papers. That helps. And get a proper guide. Get someone to guide you. I don't think, I wouldn't advise like a foreigner to go solo. Okay. I would advise them to get security.
Okay. In case we end up banged up abroad.
Let's hope that doesn't happen to anybody.
That doesn't happen. But you know, as we summarize, I want to know a little bit more about Naija Nomads. You know, are you a nomad yourself?
I am a nomad.
What makes you a nomad, and what's sort of your frequency of travel and your preferred destinations?
My preferred destinations, I'd say Africa, to be honest.
Okay.
So I've just started my journey towards traveling through Africa. Say Naija Nomads. So we let Nigerians and Africans know that, you know, there is for a Nigerian traveler, we have this green passport movement, which basically enlightens the Nigerian about the 45 countries you can go to with your Nigerian visa. Yeah, very, very easy. And
green passport movement.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have 5 destinations every year. As a matter of fact, 2020, we're doing multiple destinations for our trips, just round the continents, places you can go to with your Nigerian visa that are super, super easy. And a lot of people don't know.
With your Nigerian passport, which don't require visas?
Yeah, most of them are visa on arrival.
Okay, what are some of those countries?
Easy. There's Mauritius, there's Seychelles, there's Rwanda.
Beautiful.
It's Morocco.
Yeah.
There's some Tanzania. Is a lot. With Cape Verde, Sao Tome and Principe, like so many of these countries you can go to and visa on arrival or just visa free for 14 days.
Exciting stuff. And so next year, that's your plan for 2020.
2020, we have multiple destinations, and we're doing Kenya and Seychelles, we're doing Senegal and Cape Verde, we're doing Egypt and Dubai, we're doing Singapore and Malaysia. Yeah, so I mean, we have...
Oh, especially the Singapore and Malaysia.
I know.
Oh, I might need to get your details. Where do we find you? What's your website, your Instagram handle?
www.naijanomads.com, on Instagram Naija Nomads, on Twitter Naija Nomads, and on Facebook Naija Nomads.
We got to talk. We've got to talk.
Definitely.
I've heard a lot of incredible reviews about your services and the work that you offer. And I mean, I know your Instagram feed is fantastic as well.
Thank you.
Now, so unfortunately, I feel as though backpacking is still something that's going to be more of an acquired taste for us as Africans.
Yeah,
but I think we've got some key pointers from you there, especially, you know, make sure you have a local and make sure your paperwork is in order.
It's very important.
Right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this, Elizabeth. This has been an incredible conversation.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, there you have it. A little bit about traveling on the continent, especially if you want to backpack. That was Elizabeth of Naija Nomads.